Council Chairman, Dr. David Wong, Council members, President Professor John Lee, distinguished guests, staff, alumni, and friends of the Education University of Hong Kong. I have the great honor today to deliver this thank you address on behalf of the 5 honorary doctorate recipients this year. The renowned economist, Professor Lawrence J. Lau, former president of the Chinese University of Hong Kong, Professor Justin Lin Yu-Fu, former chief economist of the World Bank, Professor Michael Evan Mann, director of the Penn Center for Science, Sustainability and the Media, and vice provost for climate science, policy and action at the University of Pennsylvania, and Professor James J. Gross, eminent professor of psychology and the director of the Stanford Psychophysiology Laboratory. I'm pleased to add that Lawrence and Justin are all personal friends of mine, so it's such a pleasure to be with 2 friends here. I'm also deeply aware of what a great privilege it is for me to stand before you today in such distinguished company. Frankly, I should never have gone to university. When I was born, the chances of me going to university were probably less than 0.1%. I came from a poor, broken family. My father, sadly, was an alcoholic and a gambler. So my mother had to bring up my 3 sisters and me single-handedly. We lived in a house with no flush toilet. When I first went to school, I was put in a special feeding program because I was undernourished. And when I was growing up in the 1950s and 60s, Singapore was a poor country with a per capita income of less than $500. None of our neighbors had ever attended university. In fact, I had no expectations of doing so either. So after I completed my secondary education, as Professor Mei Cheng noted, I started work as a textile salesman, just like most men from the Sindhi community would do. However, the Singapore government unexpectedly awarded me the President's Scholarship, which I had not applied for. So I decided to take up the scholarship only because the scholarship stipend was higher than my salary as a textile salesman. And that's how I ended up in university. So this completely changed the course of my life, completely. My university education was the reason why I was able to become a diplomat and later the founding dean of the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy. And perhaps more importantly, my training in philosophy profoundly shaped the way in which I think about the world. It revealed to me the vast vistas of knowledge and modes of thought which humanity had painstakingly built over the past 300,000 years. I may have never discovered any of this if I had fulfilled my original destiny as a textile salesman. So I've always been immensely grateful for having been given the incredible gift of higher education. I can tell you the gift that I had not even dreamt of when I was 18 years old. So it is now the responsibility and privilege of all of us who have received this gift to pass it down to the coming generations. This will not be an easy task. Higher education is increasingly being commercialized, threatening the survival of the study of humanities and making it difficult for low-income students to receive quality education. While generative AI has great potential, it is also posing many issues in the field of education, including disseminating false information and potentially negatively impacting students cognitive development. And as it becomes increasingly difficult to discern the truth amidst the incredible number of fake videos, fake photos, and fake news online, belief in science and medicine is falling even further, including, shockingly, in the West, where we are seeing the return of diseases that have long been controlled with vaccines. In this difficult climate, education is more threatened than ever and also more needed than ever. This is why it is so important that the Education University of Hong Kong's mission focuses not just on training an adaptable and competent workforce, but also inculcating the values of ethical responsibility and social care and contributing to human betterment. My fellow honorees and I are deeply grateful to the Education University of Hong Kong and all its staff and faculty, members of the council, and alumni for all your efforts to work towards this laudable mission over the past 31 years. I'm confident that with your continued support, the university will be able to grow from strength to strength in the coming years as well. Thank you.